Hi, my name is Janet and I'm here with my kitten Chloe, and a lot of people have been asking me, what is a beginning yoga class like? So I made this video to give you some information about what a beginning yoga class is like. And I think I'll do all the talking, so I'll go ahead and lay her down or set her down. There you go. Alrighty, so what is a beginning yoga class like? Well, to begin with, you probably will utilize some props, like some of the things I have here. A strap, this is a yoga strap, and blocks, and blankets. So usually those props are used in a beginning yoga class. All right. So when you go to a group class, like a yoga studio or gym or something like that, what you would expect is that most of the other people in the beginning yoga class are beginners too. So they're new to yoga. Although occasionally, well, pretty often actually, some of us who have been practicing for many years love to take beginning yoga, because in a beginning yoga class, we work on some basic foundation, some alignment, physical alignment, and so much more. So a class will usually begin in a segment of the class called integration. And integration includes something like maybe child's pose or seated on your mat to begin, and some breathing techniques called pranayama are taught. So you'll learn how to breathe more deeply and control your breath. Then you might start stretching into various postures like cow and cat is common in a beginning yoga class. Downward facing dog, most definitely, and you can expect to do that several times in the class. So that's a posture that's really often seen in beginning yoga and all other styles of yoga. You'll often set an intention in this integration period, work into some deep stretching, and then you'll start moving into what is called Sun Salutations. So Sun Salutations are movement with your breath. The first time you are introduced to each of the postures in the Sun Salutation, you will really be taught what to feel in your body, what muscles in your body are engaged in specific postures, like mountain pose, or where might you try to create more length in your body, like creating length through the spine. From there, you will move through a yoga push-up, which is really different than a gym push-up. So that'll be broken down very slowly in a beginning yoga class, and you'll get several attempts to try it. You'll receive specific details on ways you could modify that, which means make it just a little bit easier, more accessible to your body if you're building upper body strength. Some back bends are a part of it. A low cobra is often used in Sun A, and sometimes an upward facing dog. And basically what that does is really start to work the musculature in your back. And so those are usually done between 3 to 5, sometimes even 10 rounds of Sun Salutation A. From Sun Salutation A, you'll move into Sun Salutation B, which might be done only one round, explaining each of the postures chosen for that round. For example, I usually teach Warrior 2, Extended Side Angle, and Reverse Warrior. So I would take time as I'm teaching a beginning yoga class to break down the specifics and alignment of each of those postures. In addition to talking about the alignment in each pose, I might explain some of what you're feeling emotionally or thinking about mentally. For example, in Warrior 2, I often will discuss the inner strength that you have within you to stand up for what you believe in. I might draw your attention to an area of your life where you maybe volunteer time or people you love and stand up for, like family members or animals, whatever that is. So there's more than just postures, there's more like a yoga philosophy, which leads me into the teachings of yoga, which there are many, but they're usually around the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. So Patanjali is considered to be the father of yoga, the person who, or people who created this movement way back somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 years ago in India. So you'll start to be introduced in beginning yoga to some of the teachings of the yoga practice, like non-stealing or hoarding, or practicing truthfulness. Those are just a couple of concepts that might be woven throughout your beginning yoga class. So after you've done Sun Salutation B, which might be done just one time to teach those postures, or if the teacher feels that you are strong enough and the majority of the students would like to do it, you might be invited to flow through those postures with your breath synchronized movement, which is called Vinyasa. You might have heard that word. That's a Sanskrit word, which means to move with the breath or to place in a special way or a specific way. So once you're through those portions of the class, you'll work on some strength postures. You've probably seen a pose called boat pose, where someone's sitting down and they're lifting their legs and their arms up in front of them to build abdominal control and strength, maybe some crunches and various core strengthening postures. Now, once you've moved through abdominal strengthening and you're really aware of ab strengthening and even back strengthening, you might move into some more advanced postures which are slow, and you'll hold them for a length of time, like crescent lunge is one, and crescent twist, and then also chair and prayer twist. And you might also see that chair pose. Just think of it as sitting into a chair. You might see that in your Sun Salutations as well. So those are postures that really challenge your strength and build your stamina. Once you've moved through that sequence of postures, like beginning yoga class will almost always include some balance poses. One of the ones that I like to teach pretty much in every beginning yoga class is tree pose, which is a balance pose where one leg is lifted. I'm sure you've seen it. It's used in advertisements in many different areas. So various balance postures like tree will be broken down. And I like tree because it teaches us about the foundation, the rooting down. Imagine the visualization of feeling like a tree and then growing from there. So in addition to like which muscles are working, again, there's sort of a feeling, a philosophy about the practice itself and about that particular posture woven into the practice. After that, posture, a balance pose, maybe one or two, even three different postures, you'll start to move into postures that really stretch your body deeply, especially working on postures that release the lower back. And there's a sequence I like to teach. It's called the triangle sequence, and it starts with warrior 1, different than warrior 2, and it would move into triangle, which creates the shapes of triangles in your body and really stretches your body. You'll find a lot of stretching in these poses in the backs of your legs, in your hips, places where yogis and non-yogis alike, people that like to do other sports or people that don't exercise a lot, if you're really a beginner even to exercise, these postures are going to be wonderful for really stretching out the places in our body that can cause us a lot of discomfort and tension, the hips, the back, and the legs. Following that, we'll do specific postures, a segment I like to call spine strengthening. And in spine strengthening, we work on strengthening the muscles that support your spine. So strengthening the muscles in your back. Following a series of those postures, usually including a cobra, maybe a locust like the bug, right? Lifting and flying, a deep back bend, a bow, or a camel, and you'll have to watch some videos or take beginning yoga to understand what the heck that is. But if you'll do so, you will love it. It'll really open your heart. These postures not only strengthen the muscles in your back, but emotionally they open our heart and they help us to move through some of the challenging things in life like heartbreak or disappointment. So you feel again, not only the physical aspects in beginning yoga, but you can also experience some emotional changes and shifting in your body. Continuing along that line, the class will then begin to wind down. And in winding down, you'll find yourself usually closer to your mat, laying on your mat, on your tummy or on your back, maybe working some stretching for the hips in a posture called pigeon. And pigeon, think of a pigeon like in the park, right? And they're a bird that snuggles down low to the ground and lifts up. And so that's releasing the lower back, releasing the hips, things like that in what we call pigeon posture. I like to close with a posture called happy baby. Some know it as dead bug, so it's a visual. Think about it. What does a dead bug look like? It's laying on its back with its legs in the air. but I like to bring it into more of a positive feel, and the posture I like to use is Happy Baby. And the reason it's called Happy Baby is if you have little children, or you've seen them, we've all been one, children like to lie on their back and hold their feet in their hands and, you know, move their legs around a little bit and rock around a little bit. It just feels good, and it might initially seem awkward in a group of adults in an adult class, but I promise at this point with all the stretching, it just feels silly and it feels fun, and it gives your heart, your spirit a little bit of a lift to do some Happy Baby. After Happy Baby, I like to close with a spinal twist, so usually that's lying on your back and a little twist. A twist is done when the hips and the shoulders move into a different plane. So the shoulders would be stable on the back and the pelvis would move, usually with one or both legs to either side. Of course, we'll even out both sides of the body. That's something that you would expect to see in beginning yoga and in all yoga, is both sides of the body are evened out. And the final pose is resting posture, Savasana in Sanskrit. So as you rest on your mat, probably about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, you begin to soak up all of the postures, all of the emotional, physical, and even the mental benefits, which one of them is stillness in your mind, peace in your mind. Isn't that wonderful? So expect to feel those feelings. I'm hoping you soak them up in your Shavasana. After that relaxation posture, better said in English, you'll come to seated. Usually the teacher will ask you to keep your eyes closed and perhaps bring your hands to heart center in what we call prayer position. In this position, she might, he might, I would give you an explanation to take you on your way through the rest of your day. For example, I hope you have found peace in your practice today, and you'll take that with you as you move out through the rest of your day. We say a Sanskrit word that is basically a greeting that they say a lot in India, and in a yoga class we say it at the end of the class, and to me it means I see you, or the light within me sees the light within you. You might bring your hands up and you'll repeat the word after the teacher says it. From my heart to yours, Namaste. And you would say Namaste in reply. I hope this video helps you to understand or get some insight in what a beginning yoga class is like. Whether you decide to take your yoga class at a gym, in a yoga studio, or with me here on our YouTube channel, Free Yoga Club, which I have lots of videos about beginning yoga where I break down different postures, and those classes are about 30 minutes to up to an hour. And I hope you will subscribe to our channel and join me for some beginning yoga classes and other yoga classes that we offer, and we'll hope to see you soon. Thank you so much for listening. And now you know what it's like in a beginning yoga class. Thank you.